All right, so g'day all. We've got Trev. We're doing it remotely today. We've had to pull him off the beach to get him in front of the screen. How you going, Trev?
Good, Mark. Good, thanks.
Yeah, coming to us from far north Queensland. Quick little break up there after the Cup Carnival, but still working, of course. And the Cup week ended up really good. We had a really big week in terms of the results.
Yeah, it was sort of good. I was, just a few of the races, just with the some early on that didn't look like there was some value. So I was happy betting some half units, but in the end, I probably wish we'd sort of bet full. So, we might have won double, but no, it was good. We found the Cup winner. Had a good day the last day. Liked the horse on, it's a bit stiff on Oaks Day. That horse that won the 1,000-metre race that I really liked, I marked at sort of $2.50. Yeah, I think they beat 380, a little bit of $4, and then so I wasn't sure. I was happy. I thought it might drift, and I was still happy having the bet. And then it was heavily backed. It was sort of 350 in. Yeah, and they sort of went with us and didn't really ever look like getting beat. So that was a good result. Yeah. And the first day we sort of ground out a tiny win, so that was good.
Yeah. Was good. So that's done and dusted for another year. So we're off to Cranbourne this week for the standalone cup meeting. Just as a track in general, obviously don't bet there a lot, being mainly focused on the metros, but is it a reasonable track to bet at nonetheless?
Yeah, generally. It's just the problem this time of year, they just mainly have sort of night meetings there, and then they race each week. Can get a little bit sort of chopped up a bit, but it's a little bit like Moonee Valley, as in the straight's not that long.
Yep.
And but it's a bit, they sort of sweep from sort of the 600, and tends to be an on-pace track, so a bit like Caulfield.
Yep.
So generally they sort of race closer to the fence. But it's a good track to sort of bet at, if the tracks are dry.
No worries. Well, there's a couple of decent races on the day, so we'll just do a quick preview and have a look at them. Race 7 is the Cup, over 1,600 metres, so 500 grand it's worth now. So Thursday night we're looking at this. Uncle Bryn and Visionary are equal favourites, $4.60 with TopSport. Our Playboy, $7. Just Folk and Ironclad, $9.50. And then Belle Plaisir leads the rest at $12. How did your market look?
So I've got Uncle Bryn favourite.
Yep.
About sort of $4.40. There's good pace in this race, and it just needs pace on. All its best runs are when there's a lot of speed, gets Mark Zara. So just the provisos will be that it's not going to be a strong bias towards the fence, and horses can run on. But it's on the 7-day backup. It's on the quick backup from last week in Sydney. Yeah. Stable have a good record. That's if you back the Sutton young horses on the 7-day backup, it's very profitable.
Okay.
So you would think that in that situation, they only run them if they're right. That's come back from Sydney. So, as long as it runs, I'd say it's probably the horse to beat, just needs a speed on.
Yep.
Visionaries, I've got second pick. It's just not rating as well as what it was last prep. I had it sort of really improving sort of third, fourth and fifth runs last prep. And then this time in, the market really wanted to be on it first up, set it out $1.60 and change on Betfair. And it had the run of the race and fell in. It was very unimpressive. And then Valley the other day on Cox Plate Day got well back and sort of wasn't really suited. But then the overseas horse, My Oberon, came from behind it and beat it home 4 lengths. Yeah. So I think it's fitter. I just don't think it's going at its absolute.
Okay.
So I could mark it shorter if I knew it was going to go to its best, but I've still got its second pick.
Yep.
Around sort of 9 to 550. Just Folk was terrific the other day. Just the proviso, it needs a wet track. So it'll just depend whether it wants a soft 5 or better. So proviso will be with it whether we get the wet track.
Yep.
Buffalo River's another one that needs a wet track. And our White Boy, it's fourth up here, ran well in this race last week, narrowly beaten. Last year, narrowly beaten. And it'll sort of settle midfield on the fence. I've sort of got it double figures. And I thought Belpasseur was a sort of chance at sort of just double figures as well.
Yeah, okay. Sounds
and
like
then, and then Mr. Ironclad, it's second up.
Yep.
It went good, but just from barrier 13, it's probably going to get out the back somewhere.
Sounds like favourite ticks a lot of boxes though.
Well, yeah, as long as it's, as I say, it's come back, and I don't think it's any spoil on the price. But I thought if all things being equal and if there's genuine speed, it was it was entitled to be favourite.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, they run the 1,000-metre race too, the Apache Cat, which is race 8 at 5 o'clock. So we'll just have a bit of a look at that. So just looking at the market with TopSport, Midwest is $2.80 favourite now with the pretty good record behind it. First up here. From I Am War at $5.50, Scissor Step $7, Jigsaw also $7. And then the rest, we've got Ranting at $13, and the rest are pretty far out. What did you make of that market?
So sort of like Midwest here, basically strung a lot of wins together last prep. Basically won its first 5, and then of the prep, and then got beat narrowly at Mornington Cup Day, and then won again.
Yeah.
With Jamie K stepping out to 1,100. So resumes here. It's had 3 jump outs over the last looks like it had a jump out in August, and that's had 2 since. So you'd think it'd be wound up to the mark set for the race. Craig Williams booked, sort of got a lot of ticks, and it's got enough speed where it should find the front. And as I say, generally it can be an on-pace track. So I thought it was about its right. That was about its right odds, sort of to just under $3.
Yep.
I thought Scissor Step is just a good horse. We're running first up, small. That was on a wet track. Preferring on a dry track, he ran terrific. Second up last time in. He's got a big rating one day at Moonee Valley behind Generation, I think it is. He's just a good horse. So I thought he's probably second pick at sort of around sort of $7.
Yep.
And then Jigsaw's first up. Trained at the track, goes good fresh. So you'd think it'd be a target race, being a $175,000 race. And I sort of thought it was sort of around a $9 shot.
Okay.
And then you sort of had I Am War. Had a peak figure the other day. That was at Moonee Valley. It was a bit of a biased track that night, and where it sort of just got to lead on the monorail on the fence. It just won't get the same setup here. So I thought it was a chance, but I'd sort of want double figures to back it. Right. And the other one was Sartorial Splendor. He's just been a horse. He just always has sort of some sort of good ratings, and you can always sort of make some excuses for him. So I thought he had sort of some sort of chance at double figures as well.
Yeah, so he's $21 at the moment.
Yeah, well, $21. If we bet in the race, we'll definitely be on him.
No worries. All right, good stuff. Thanks for that, Trev. Quick update. Thanks for jumping on while you're away. So next week we're to Ballarat and then back to Caulfield.
Yes, so next week's Ballarat. I think there's there's Wednesday at Sandown and Moonee Valley again, then Ballarat Cup, which traditionally can be a good meeting, and then the week after's Caulfield, and it's basically the meeting that used to be this Saturday at Sandown. Yeah. So it's the Sandown Guineas, the Zipping Classic, the Sandown Cup, and all those things that they run the Caulfield. They did the same thing last year. Yeah. So it should be a good meeting as well. So generally, coming into the spring, we can get some wet tracks, and it's normally all right. But then once sort of spring carnival gets out of the way, and then we get the dry tracks generally leading for sort of now and through to about Warrnambool meeting in sort of the early May. Traditionally this is sort of the time that you sort of get going and make some money.
Yeah, good stuff.
Let's hope so. Got to pay for this holiday.
Good stuff. All right, thanks for that, Trev. We'll chat next week.
Great, thanks, mate.
Cheers.